We have with us now Congressman Frank Wolf, who represents the 10th District of Virginia, and he sits on the powerful House Appropriations Committee. Congressman, thank you for being with us today.
Senator, it's good to be with you.
Jerry is here, says hello.
Hi, Jerry, how are you?
Thank you for your help with Barbara Comstock. We're so thrilled to have her as delegate.
That was a great victory, yes.
Well, we wanted to ask you about a couple of different things, Frank, and maybe we'll have time to get to them, including your idea for a commission to do something about this terrible debt problem that we're experiencing in this country. But I've got to ask you what your read is on this Justice Department decision to try these terrorists in New York City.
It's a mistake, Senator. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed really was responsible. You remember the beheading of Daniel Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually on the web.
Yeah.
He also masterminded the 9/11, which resulted in 3,000 people, 30 from my congressional district, and also all the death that's taking place in Afghanistan today is as a result of him. So to bring him to an American soil is just a mistake. He should have been tried in Guantanamo Bay, and they're actually giving him more rights than they would give a young American man or woman who serves in the military who did something wrong, has to go through Universal Military Court of Justice. He gets to be treated in a civilian court. Secondly, he will not go to a supermax. There's a misunderstanding. He will come and live in the Southern District of New York for probably 4 or 5 years. If you remember the Masali case, he was in Alexandria, the Alexandria courthouse, for over 4 years. And so he doesn't go from here to a supermax. He goes from here to wherever he's going to be for a long period. And lastly, the infestation of radical Islam into our prison system. If you recall that fellow Abdullah who was killed by the FBI about a month ago, he was in touch with H. Rap Brown, who was in a maximum security prison. So it's a mistake.
Well, Moussaoui took about 5 years, I think, and
he did.
That was nothing compared to this.
No, Moussaoui was arrested here from Minneapolis. It was absolutely nothing. This will go on and on. You're gonna jeopardize. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
One of them they put into.
But more importantly, the president has made a mistake here.
Well, one of the mistakes I think they made, Frank, is misjudging the American people. Eric Holder gets up there and says that part of the reason why they did this, it will provide some closure for the victims and things like that. We have some friends up there, and there have been some already speak out today who said that, that's the last thing in the world we wanted is to have this in our face for this period of time.
And what if he's found, likely not, but what if he's found innocent? What if the court's thrown out? What if he only gets a 10-year sentence? Will he just walk out of the court? I mean, what is this going on?
Well,
and we're in war.
Exactly. It all gets back to that. And you either decide we're in war or we're not. And, that has to do with Afghanistan and everything else on their plate.
Senator, there is another sensitive thing that a lot of people aren't looking at. They're ready to release 26 guys out of Guantanamo who are the worst of the worst, sending them back to Yemen. And Yemen is where that radical cleric who influenced the colonel, the major, and they're going to send them back there. And, Fred, they're sending 2 more back to a place which you won't even believe. And so these guys are almost certainly going to go back to terrorist activity and kill Americans. 2 of the Guantanamo.
I wanted to talk to you about that before this announcement was made today. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you.
Well, they're kind of tied together, and no one's looking at the other one because the 2 Guantanamo Bay guys went back. One led the attack on the American embassy in Yemen that killed 10 people. And the other one, if you recall, Fred, about a month ago, tried to assassinate the Saudi minister. And they were not the worst guys.
Well, it's a terrorist hotbed. I mean, let's face it. I mean, that whole country, it's a terrorist hotbed. Look, to make the circle even wider, look at Hassan, the killer of those service people at Fort Hood. His former imam, who was out here in Northern Virginia at one time. Where did he go as he was proselytizing for Al-Qaeda and terrorists and jihadism? Went to Yemen.
And he's teaching there.
Exactly.
He speaks English because he was born in New Mexico.
So we're just recycling these.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And you all can answer this. So I'm trying to, cycle through all this. So the president thinks that it's a good idea, or the people that are recommending things to him. I guess Greg Craig didn't recommend the right things, or he'd still be there. Maybe Bob Barr will do a better job. Anita Dunn's husband. Why does the president think that sending these folks back to Yemen is a better idea than keeping them in Gitmo? Can there only be a political answer to that?
Well, I think there is. It's a form of political correctness. I have looked at the cases of the men who are going back. They're all top secret, so you can't, obviously, the senator knows you can't, but they are very bad people. They're gone back to Yemen, and 2 are gone to a place, if it's possible, it's even worse than Yemen. And so we offered an amendment to have it both classified and unclassified, so the media and the American public would know. That was voted down on a party line vote. But you can't even understand it. You can't explain it. And knowing what's going on in Yemen, knowing what our people know, it's almost a certainty that they're going to go back into terrorism.
All right, knowing that, so then what can be the only rational answer that the American people can have from what we do know about this? That the president has decided that is more important for his campaign promise to the left wing of this country to say he's going to close Gitmo is more important than the national security of not only our soldiers in Afghanistan, not only the American people, but frankly the world.
Well, I think so. Every politician likes to keep their campaign promises and commitment, and it's almost a rush to judgment to sort of be able to say that they get it. But yeah, I think as a result of trying to keep that commitment, there will be, and in the letter that I sent, I said the likelihood that there will be people killed as a result of it.
We, of course, in Northern Virginia here and in your area, is going to get the brunt of all this because there's still going to be a category of people that we will hold, but they will not either try or put before military commissions. I don't know what they're planning on doing with them.
I don't either.
They can't keep them in solitary confinement. They'll be filing, if they bring them here to this soil, they'll be filing lawsuits like all the other prisoners, and they can't be constitutionally probably kept, behind closed doors all their life.
Oh, you never know what a judge will do. Frankly, they should be sent to Bagram. There's a prison in Bagram. They ought not come to the United States.
No,
that's yet to be.
They ought to be in Gitmo. Congressman, thank you for joining us. I want to have you back and ask you about this bipartisan commission idea.
Yeah, Fred, I'll tell you, Senator, that's really important because, this Congress is dysfunctional. There's no other way to deal with this, and this will require us to vote on this thing. And otherwise, boy, the country is in trouble.
We have proven time and time again that we can't make the cuts when it comes right down to it. It's part of the fallacy of this health care bill, isn't it?
Part of it is.
Well, listen, we will talk about that more in some
thanks,
detail
folks.
as we move along. It's an intriguing idea. It's hard to shut these things off to the side and put them in a commission when problems get tough, but that may be the only way out.
You remember the song, the Simon and Garfunkel song called The Boxer? Man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. The country and the Congress is disregarding this, and it's got to be dealt with one way or the other. And this way, I think we can get it passed.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
You.
Appreciate you being with us.